funny, as we begin this week's show, we've just been having a little chat about Eurovision, and if you remember on last week's episode, we were talking about how Bec was a massive fan and our thoughts ahead of this year's event. We also had Katrina from Katrina and the Waves, who basically crapped all over the Eurovision Song Contest. I did say that though, didn't I? What was it she referred to the trophy as? A toilet bowl?
Yes.
No wonder she's not been invited back. But I said to Bec, it's a week on, and as we record this, it's Saturday morning. Are you looking forward to Eurovision tonight? Because, of course, it is not far from Vlad.
Oh,
Vlad
yeah.
the Impaler. It's in Kiev. And she said, no, I haven't really sort of looked at anything this week to do with Eurovision at all.
I feel
Some
really,
super fan, aren't you?
I feel really bad. I feel guilty that the viewership's down by 1.
I was looking at some of the stuff that happens through the week because I forgot they have the sort of qualifying stages right up to the point where the contest takes place. And I think Ireland, they're not in it this year, are they?
Aww.
I think they got kicked out, which they were always one of the ones that were surefire winners of it. I think they've got one of the records, haven't they, for winning it so many times. It's like I said on last week's episode of Chasing 40. No one wants a bloody win it. They can't afford it. Everyone's skint. No one wants to have to put on this massive show. The only one that does want it is England, and we're just not going to win it.
Not a hope in hell.
I'm out at a party tonight. Obviously, as you listen to this, because this goes out on Sunday, Eurovision's already happened. But I'm looking forward to next week's episode of Chasing 40 so we can sort of look back. Because while I'm out tonight, there's quite a few Eurovision parties I've seen that are going on around town. So I might stumble my way into one of the bars and see what's going on. I just really cannot wait to see how the voting goes against England, because everyone hates us because of the political stuff. They are going to absolutely hate us even more. It will be that thing I was saying, that Juncker will just somehow do a Donald Trump-esque thing and just get into the vote, every single country's vote, and give us minus 100 points.
Or it'll go the other way and they'll give us full points, so we have to host it next year to really screw over the economy.
Do you know what? That's a good way of thinking. Here is your Brexit bill now, England.
You said you wouldn't pay the 92 million to get out of it. You will.
All of a sudden, there's a levy on Eurovision from 2018 onwards. Right, obviously, you've got to pay the costs to stage the event, and there's this little invoice you need to figure out as well. Theresa May's looking at it going, £150 million? Yeah, it's the thing we've changed, but don't worry about it. I'm sure it'll be a great show.
Sequin tax.
Hey, what was that thing you sent me off the back of last week's show as well? Because I was talking about how and I've worked so hard this week, by the way.
Yeah.
I've shifted my focus of advice from everything geared around Rocky Balboa to Bob Dylan. You might have noticed that.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of Bob Dylan, actually, yeah.
If you follow me on Instagram or Twitter, you'll notice that I've shifted from quotes from Sylvester Stallone or Rocky Balboa to now Dylan lyrics or Dylan phrases or suggesting Bob Dylan songs. I do stick to that now, but I put a post on, I think it was on Wednesday, that for every situation in your life, you'll find a Bob Dylan song to sort it out. And I have had the most ridiculous week work-wise. I mean, I've been 15, 16-hour days I've been working, and there's an exciting project which I don't want to talk too much about, but it's something to do with radio, kids. And I'll tell you all about that in the coming weeks when I can announce it. But as I say, I've been doing 15, 16-hour days, so I'm absolutely drained. And it got to a point, I think it was on Wednesday or Thursday, where I just said to myself, you know what? I'm going to put a Bob Dylan album on. I'm just going to sit in the garden and I'm going to figure all this out because I'm going to have some sort of meltdown here. And Bob Dylan fixed it for me.
Good.
But to be honest, I was prompted into action to switch my hero of inspiration after something you sent me. Now let me just find it on my phone. Bec sends me a message going, oh look, you've got something in common. Kim Jong-un.
Yep.
So Kim Jong-un, the North Korean dickhead dictator.
Yep.
Apparently he loves Rocky. The thing is though, there's a few things that he likes as well. It was Dennis Rodman, wasn't it, who was doing an interview talking about, he doesn't want to bomb anyone and he's a nice guy. He's not a nice guy. He had his brother killed the other week, if you remember correctly. He tortures. What was it? I think his brother-in-law got fed to a load of dogs because he was seen as a threat to him. That's not the actions of a nice guy. That's the actions of a total crackpot. But yeah, Dennis Rodman was talking about how the US need to build a relationship with him. And the headline Bec sent me was that he loves theme songs in Rocky, loves Rocky Balboa, and also Dallas as well, which scarily... I love like Dallas. Yeah, because I've told you. Now, I don't watch any TV at all. Everyone goes on constantly about binging on box sets and, have you seen this on Netflix? Have you seen this on the iPlayer and Amazon Prime and all these things? I never watch anything at all. The last TV series, though, that I did knuckle down to and get into was when Dallas come back. Right, but as soon as JR died, that's it. I refused to watch it. And then the next series after that, I got axed.
Even when he came back? Did he come back,
no,
JR?
No, the second time in real life.
Oh, right.
Because he died, didn't he, in the show?
Yeah.
And then they... No, hang on, he didn't die. Bobby Ewing died, right? JR got shot, so that was the big cliffhanger. I think it was in 81. Bobby Ewing got killed off, and then because the ratings dropped that badly, they decided to just write off the whole series and pretend it was a dream. Yeah, so he just walks out of the shower and goes, "Morning, darling." They're like, "Shit, Bobby's alive." But JR got shot. He survived it. But then, obviously, when they brought it back, the only ones from the original cast really were the likes of... There was a few minor ones, but JR obviously being the main one, and Bobby Ewing. But JR then dies in real life, so they had to kill him off for real. He definitely got shot this time in a hotel in Mexico. And then after that, I thought, I can't watch it. Because that's all I want to see. I want to see JR in his big cowboy hat being a bastard. So when you sent me that, I thought, I need to move on, because if people are now going to be looking at headlines involving Kim Jong-un, the North Korean dictator, and thinking of me, that ain't a good sign, brother. So I moved on to Bob Dylan. Yeah, there's some lovely Bob Dylan pictures and some cool Bob Dylan quotes. I thought that was a good one. Some people feel the rain, others get wet. Hey, Bob Dylan was in town this week.
Was he?
He was. He played the Echo Arena in Liverpool, and I was gutted because it was the same night that Everton under-23s were crowned champions at Goodison, so I went to watch that. Obviously, Everton take preference over everything in my life. But I went to see Bob Dylan a few years ago, and absolutely, obviously a music genius. But the great thing about going to watch Bob Dylan, Bec, is how he pees off his fans, and how he I hate to sort of slate him for this, but his absolute mistreat of his fans.
Really?
Doesn't even speak to you. Doesn't even look at you, say hello.
You are beneath
Right, this
me.
is the Bob Dylan. He doesn't play any of his hits, and when he does play his hits, it literally is a random version that you've never heard. So I went to see Bob Dylan a couple of years ago. I was dead lucky. I was about like third or fourth row. It was at the CIA in Cardiff, and ticket said Bob Dylan starts 7:30. Now, when you look at the ticket, see a 7:30 for a concert, you assume 7:30 is when it all opens up and they have a support act, and then Bob will be on a little bit later on. Right, no, Bob Dylan, and I knew this because I'm obviously a fan, but a lot of people who were attending the concert didn't. He walks on that stage at 7:30, straight on the stage. Now, like most concerts these days, there's no big video walls or pyrotechnics or fancy lights. There's him and his band in the middle of the stage with dim lighting, right? So he comes on, doesn't say hello, straight into the music. As soon as the song ends, no thank you or a little bit of chit-chat, banter with the audience, lights go down. Then he'll move to the piano, lights go up, he plays again.
No way.
Lights go down. If you take a picture, you're kicked out.
Really?
So, yeah,
Serious?
kicked out. The minute you get a camera up, like there's a torch on you and you're dragged out and kicked out of the venue.
Wow.
Bob just doesn't do any of that stuff. He goes off for an interval. Goes off for an interval, comes back on 15 minutes later, does the same, and then you are lucky. I am not messing. You are lucky if at the end he goes, "Thank you." And I believe at the concert at the Echo Arena Liverpool this week, you didn't even get that. He just came on, did his thing. But it's funny to watch because people start arriving during the interval thinking the sports act just finished. They go, "What do you mean he's been on for an hour? He's only on for another 40 minutes." And then at the end of it, when everyone's looking around going, "Why hasn't he done Subterranean Homesick Blues?" I think at best you'll be lucky if you get blown in the wind and Tangled Up in Blue, and both them versions you won't even know. So unless you've followed Bob Dylan via his 75 album career, which is still ongoing at the moment, and randomly as well, because he's been into Frank Sinatra in recent years, he sings a few Frank songs. And this was one of the most bizarre things I saw when I went to see Bob Dylan in concert, and me and my mate just looked at each other and went, "Is this really happening?" Because he was singing, "What'll I do when you are far..." The Birds of a Feather theme tune. Yeah, both of us looked at each other going, "He's singing the Birds of a Feather theme tune." Never in a million years did I think that would happen. But I missed out on Bob. Bob was at the Echo Arena being moody, not playing any of his hits and not talking to the crowd and kicking people out for taking photos. But it's good to see that he's consistent, if anything. How's your week been, by the way?
Same as yours, a bit manic actually. Had loads on this week, been dead good, enjoyed it. Long hours. And the most exciting bit of my week, I got my fidget spinner.
What is this fidget spinner? Because what we do is we'll sort of keep in radio contact through the week, and I'll bounce some ideas to Bec and back and forth, and then we'll write the show. But she sent me this email saying I need to talk about my fidget spinner. What is it?
Have you not seen it? This is like the latest craze for kids.
No, is it like, it looks like some sort of ninja type weapon? Is that if I throw this, would it chop your head off?
Possibly could. So it's like a little ball bearing thing, but It's actually quite a sad story behind it.
Yeah, listen to it, see if you can hear it. That's the fidget spinner.
Isn't it a lovely... It's a lovely noise.
Yeah, go on. Do you want to tell the story while I
So,
bask in its glow?
a woman invented it years and years and years ago for her... I can't remember if it was a son or daughter who has ADHD.
Right.
So it's something to keep the hands occupied.
Yeah.
You can get like bands and stuff for your wrist that you can play with. But the sad bit is she didn't have enough money to renew the patent on it.
Right.
So basically now it's taken off and all the kids, the cool kids everywhere has them and she doesn't get a penny for it. So it's quite sad really. But yeah, it's something to kind of keep your hands. I'm a proper fidget. And I kind of pick nails and flick and
it's almost hypnotic though, Bec. I'm still watching it spin now.
It's brilliant. I love it. And this one, it's quite a heavy one, this one. It's got ball bearings in it. But there's also a YouTube. I'm in love with a guy on YouTube.
But please don't tell me there's a how to work one of these on you.
Because you can do tricks. No, but I know you just
right,
spin it, but you can do tricks. So you can like balance it. I can balance it on my nose, which isn't much of a trick, but you can balance it on your hand. And he does all these flicks and tricks. He's really handsome. He's really, really fit.
Oh, so there we go. So now we know the reason behind it. I'm thinking, why is Bec watching a man spin something?
I know.
Is he Russian?
He's not actually, no. I think he's American or Australian. Geek Bite. He's ace. But he does all kinds of weird tricks with it. But I think it's an amazing thing. Apparently loads of kids are having them taken off them at school.
No, because I think this is... Again, it's still spinning around now. This has got me in a trance.
Can he just sit there? Honestly, I can't put it down.
The first thing I thought it was some sort of, like I mentioned to you then, like a ninja star type thing. But I can imagine kids, it is quite heavy. So where did you get that from? Amazon by any chance?
Yeah.
Please don't tell me, right, please don't tell me you got that guy to turn up like at 2 hours notice.
No, I didn't do it. I didn't do it on the 2 hours.
Right,
I did
okay.
it on... I love it.
I want it now.
You're not having it. Get off it. I'll get you one.
We'll put a picture on @Chasen_40 to add to our collection of fine random things like the Dragon Slayer. Some more good feedback on that. A lot of people agreeing with your idea about writing another, wanting some more Dragon Slayer. A lot of people not really on board with me having the Dragon Slayer as a transgender. But
really?
Maybe the world's not ready for that.
All encompassing, you know. You never know what'll happen.
I've been in touch with Caitlyn Jenner. She's game for it, but anyway. This was going to be this week, by the way, because there was some sad news this week. I was trying to figure out if we could do some type of Robert Miles tribute episode.
Robert Miles?
Robert Miles. You don't know this, do you?
Robert Miles? Who?
Robert Miles.
Robert Miles. I'm
look,
sure Robert Miles.
Bec's giving me this look, and I'm thinking, have I said something wrong there? No.
I've not seen anything this week.
Robert Miles.
Was he the guy that did the song that's got no words in it?
Children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you never know where the song starts and ends, and as a radio presenter, you just kind of cannot talk all over it.
Bec, you might want to just stand up a second. Just stand up for me a second. Bec, you might want to sit down.
Okay.
He's dead.
No.
He's dead, yeah.
What, like just dead?
Dead this week.
How...
48, I think he was. But yeah, Children, he did that song, I think with Maria, something, was it One on One or One by One? Had a couple of hits, but that was his main one, as you just accurately put there. The song, like an instrumental called Children, but most people would just use it as a bed to talk over.
Oh, that's quite sad.
It is, especially at such a young age, but Robert Miles is no more, so I was thinking to myself, maybe we could do some sort of tribute episode to him, because he's one of them people that, and your reaction there, I thought, no one's going to even remember Robert Miles, and I brought it up a few times through the week, and everyone was genuinely shocked. I saw that, it was really, really sad. I looked on Twitter as well, it was trending worldwide, so there must have been an impact that Robert, the Italian DJ, had made. A mate of mine interviewed him when all that sort of kicked off in the late 90s. Couldn't understand the word he was saying. It was one of the worst interviews he's ever done. So, Robert, how are you? Hey, I'm okay. Never works when you interview someone who doesn't speak the language.
Oh.
So I was trying to think and search my memory bank of Robert Miles' stories to see if we had anything, good. I spoke to my mate Chris, who had that conversation with him. I said, you interviewed him. Have you got any nice thoughts or nice words to say? He said, I couldn't understand the word he was saying. It was a crap interview. So it was that bad, I don't even think I heard it. So that went out the window, someone who had a personal connection with Robert Miles. So I thought, I'll think back to some of my memories about playing his music on the radio. And then, as you just said there was you just use it as a bed. You talk all over it. You wouldn't really appreciate it. And then I was thinking back to when I first started in radio, one of my first shows when my voice was squeaky. I think it not long broken. And that was one of the first tunes at a station called KFM in 1996. that I remember playing.
Is that long ago since that song was out?
Oh God, yeah, it's a long way back, the 90s. Although it seems like yesterday, as we've discussed, getting old on this show with it being called Chasing 40. But the overbearing and overriding memory I've got of Robert Miles is it probably was the first song I absolutely effing hated because I had to play it so many times. You get one of them songs, and I've had this discussion quite a few times with people over the past couple of months, where a song will pop up where you instantly hear it and it reminds you and takes you back to such a dark, miserable, horrible place. Now, if you've not worked in radio, it's hard to sort of, probably hard to relate this, and I know you'd be sitting there going, oh, here we go, another little cry about having to play records on the radio and getting paid for it. But honestly, you'll have your playlists, and there are certain songs which are on the A-list, which are the cool songs which the radio station deems you need to hear every day, every hour, for a good while. But Robert Miles was one of them songs where I would play about 2 or 3 times a day, and then over the course of the week it'd go into double figures, and then the month you'd be going into hundreds. And whenever I hear the ding 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 at the start, I straight away just go, oh, not again. Because I think with a song you've got to limit even your favourite songs, where it's like, for me, Oasis Live Forever, a few years ago I had to back off that. This song is the song that inspired me, and I credit with everything I've ever done in my life for Oasis Live Forever, but I was listening to it too much. It was starting to water down. So.
I've just done that with the whole Ed Sheeran album. The latest one, I listen to it like literally about 3 hours a day every day.
You've got to back off. But in radio, obviously, if that's your job, there's no backing away. There's no escape.
You've still got to be dead enthusiastic and come up with random facts about it.
So yeah, there's only so many times off the back of a song you can go. It's like, I'll move on from Robert Miles because he's dead. God bless him. Obviously, you didn't want him to die, but your song did wind me up, Rob. If you're listening in heaven right now, and I won't be listening to it again in the coming years. But the likes of Daniel Powter.
I knew you got a bad day.
Right, that Timbaland Apologise. That bloody Katy Perry. I'm just thinking, not Katy Perry. What was the one with that punk rocker song? I wish I was a punk rocker. Oh, I would love to get a guitar and bang it over the head of that punk rocker and say, "Go away!" I was so glad when her career finished. Wish I was a punk rocker with flowers. Sandy something, was it?
That was it, Sandy Tom?
Sandy Tom, it might have been, yeah. Oh, I'm sure she's a lovely girl. But there are certain songs that you just... They take me back to a dark place. Daniel Powter is one of them. I remember, and I was explaining this to someone. You laugh at me when I'm talking about it, but you don't understand the pain and misery that song caused me. I get every last little musical note in that song from the last minute onwards. I still, when I hear it, I shudder.
I can see it in your eyes.
The harmonies. I know the exact point 34 seconds out when I'd start talking. It'd say, play the Bob Music Variety, this is heart, or whatever shite I used to have to bloody say about that place. But
that could be your torture.
Look, I'm stressed now.
I know, look, you're fidgeting.
Look at my body language.
Have a spin of the fidget spinner, it'll calm you down.
So I'm sure it was quite traumatic, the death of Robert Miles, for some of his fans and his family, but it just reminded me of the trauma that we go through. What was something else you were saying as well to me about wanting to talk about jobs, pre-radio jobs?
Oh, I did a talk the other day, and we, the questions at the end, and it was like, what kind of things have you done in your past? What was your favourite job, and all that kind of stuff. You all right now?
Yeah, I can hear Robert Miles mix fused with Daniel Powter. Yeah. Oh, you Canadian bastard.
Yeah. So the kids were asking, what did you do before what you're doing now, which events and stuff. So obviously radio, and how did you get into radio? And so you end up going right back. And it reminded me of one of my favourite ever jobs, which was at a Quasar. Like Laser Quest. I love that. Do they
still have them?
Yeah, they're still around. I don't think they're quite as popular, but I worked at one in the Metro Centre back in Gateshead. And honestly, it was my best job that I've ever done. You could have so much fun, and it was nothing to do with kind of playing shooty games, or it was the torture that you could cause towards kids. I must have corrupted so many children. That sounds wrong. So many children.
Edit.
Because we used, back in the day, in the olden days, kids' parties.
Back in the olden days. Don't say that.
This is well, it is actually, yeah, it's 21 years ago now. It was a big thing to have your birthday party out. Now all the kids have their birthday
1996, basically. Yeah. So today's episode is we're stuck in 1996, by the way.
We seem to be, don't
Executive
we?
decision.
So the kids had come in for the birthday parties there, which were quite rare.
Yeah.
And whoever's birthday it was, they were guaranteed to be right pretentious little shit.
Yeah.
There's no other word for them. And they come in and say, oh, it's my birthday and I'm going to win and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I hate kids like that. And I still hate people like that. So they'd go in for the game, and because, you know, I'm sitting there and I've got the computer watching their scores, I'd know exactly which pack they had on, and they'd come out with like minus 260,000 points.
I don't know how this has happened.
Yeah.
I've killed 7 people today.
I just ruin these kids' birthday parties.
I never ever went to a Quasar thing, ever.
Did you not?
No, there was one, I'm pretty sure there was one at Pleasure Island over in Liverpool, but I don't think I ever went in it.
Oh, they're brilliant.
Were they, how big were they?
They were massive. It was like a really dark maze.
So you had like a pack on, didn't you?
You put like a luminous pack, and it had your gun wired to it, and there was like sensors which were on either side of the gun or down the barrel, one on the front of your pack and one on the back of your pack.
Yeah.
And you went in as you could do teams or you could do individuals. And it was dead dark with just a few kind of like flashy strobe lights and stuff, enough to cause an epileptic fit if you had to. And then, you just kind of shoot each other.
So when you get shot on the Quasar thing, would there be like a beep or something?
It would like vibrate.
Oh, so you knew you'd being hit.
Great fun.
And after a while, were you? Did you die if you got shot?
You had so many lives, and then you were supposed to come out, or whoever was on kind of control could kind of reboot you. So if you were nice to us and brought us snacks, you'd do really, really well. So we just bribed. But also, my second favourite part of that job, Tamagotchis were massive then.
Oh, God,
you know, the little
like
electronic pets.
Still in 1996, kids.
But the kids didn't want to.
When did the ones that you had to like feed and stuff, and then they would die?
Yeah.
Right.
If you didn't look, it was like having, you know, a child in the palm of your hand. But the kids didn't want to take the Tamagotchis into the Quasar arena in case they got shot.
Did you kill these Tamagotchis?
I did.
Oh, I knew you were going to do that.
I did. They'd come back. I was like, Tamagotchis there. I'd be like, I don't know what happened. I left it for a minute and now it's dead. I'd like overfeed them.
So little Timmy, let's just have this scenario. This little kid, he's been looking forward to his party for weeks.
Yeah.
He goes into this Quasar. He's got his Tamagotchi there. Got all his friends.
Yeah.
I can't wait for this. It's going to be the best day ever.
Yeah.
He comes out in an hour. He's minus 500 points in the Quasar. He's humiliated. He's had a terrible time, even though he's convinced and he knows he's shot several people and has scored more points than that. And he goes, well, it's been a bad day there, but at least I've still got little Brian, the Tamagotchi, or whatever you'd call her. He's dead! He probably is having a conversation with his mum. So there's someone in the northeast now going, remember my 8th birthday? I'm still scarred by that.
Best job ever, honestly. Loved it. I should never have left.
I never did that, and I never did the, what's it called, the paintballing thing either. That was always...
Oh, no, I don't want to do that. That would hurt. You get bruised off that.
Well, the paintballing thing, I was scarred for life because of course, Biker Grove.
Biker Grove.
As soon as... Was it Ant or Dec who got blinded?
Ant.
Ant's
Yeah.
the one with the big forehead,
Yeah.
isn't he? Yeah,
PJ.
Right. PJ. I must be the only person who could confuse Ant and Dec. Remember, kids, I've been living in a cave for a long, long time. They're still jumping around singing "Let's Get Ready to Rumble" in my world. Which was that? No, that was 95, wasn't it? Right, we'll change the episode now. We're still stuck in 95, 96 because we're going back into that territory now.
Do it like a football season, cross seasons.
But when I saw the episode where he got the paintball in his eye, that was it for me.
Dangerous sport.
But I think there's something wrong psychological with me. Psychologically, because...
Really? This is not news, Jeff.
As I sit on my stool or my perch today, about to begin another rant. If anything happens to a celebrity, even if it's a real incident, it's like with horses, Christopher Reeve. The minute Christopher Reeve fell off that horse and was paralysed, right, really serious, in my head, that was Superman. So a girl I was going out with for many, many years, 5 years, she kept horses, she had stables and all that. Was always, can you imagine when riding the horses? They had lots of, Dad had loads of land as well, so it would have been cool to ride around on horseback and, get involved with that type of world. I wouldn't go near the horse. I was like, Superman got paralysed on one of them. Keep it away from me. And he just fell off in there. No. Superman got paralysed. It wasn't really Superman. It was Christopher Reeve. It was Superman. PJ and Duncan, one of them got blinded, going nowhere near paintball. But yeah, if
you're not irrational at all.
If he had his mask on, he'd have been all right. You just don't take your mask off. I don't care. It'll probably go through the mask. I'll be blinded. I'll be the first one it ever happens to. So I'm neurotic with stuff like this.
Just a bit.
Talking about, I think was it episode 4 or 5, Spuggy from Biker Grove. Again, by the way, if you're listening right now, and I know each and every week we get people who are new to Chasing 40 and are checking us out. We have got we're on to episode 12 now, so there's a backlog of episodes that you can go back and check out on iTunes, on YouTube, on SoundCloud, so you can have a little listen. If you want to pause right now and go to the very start, you'll find out exactly why we're insane and we're having all these conversations. But on the Spuggy from Biker Grove episode, there was something we missed, and it's just popped back in my mind now.
Really?
Yeah, remember, who was the one did you have a relationship with him, or you were going out with him?
How do you even remember that?
Because you could have potentially, Bec could have been, but actually right now you wouldn't be a showbiz wife because he hasn't got a career. But
maybe that's because we never actually.
Tell us the story. Who was it again?
So we used to hang out, obviously, in Metro Centre.
Is this another Quasar related
It's not
story?
actually, because I wasn't working. I was still at school at this point. But we used, when you're a kid, you can just go and hang out in a shopping centre for like 8 hours a day. And I don't know how. But there was an indoor fun fair. There was like Metroland that had roller coaster and stuff. So we used to go and hang out there and stuff. And obviously the lot from Biker Grove, you'd see them around.
Isn't that where they were filming stuff, the Metro Centre?
Yeah. And we were in there one Saturday, and this lad came over and started chatting and stuff. And was like, can we swap? No mobile phones in these days. Remember, we're back in the 90s.
Can we swap messenger pigeons?
It was like telephone numbers, landline telephone numbers. And it was the guy who played Noddy in Biker Grove, Brett Adams, I think his name was. And I mean, he's a good-looking lad.
Yeah.
But I said no because the episode before that I'd seen, he'd wore white cycling shorts in it. So I said no, but he gave us his grand's telephone number, which I've probably still got somewhere in a diary. But yeah, that could have been the start of a beautiful relationship.
Didn't he then go on to be, was it Point Break?
Point Break. So he was a pop star. I could have been a pop star's wife.
Oh, there you missed the boat there.
Do you know
with
what I
that
mean?
one,
I'm gutted, honestly.
The associations with Biker Grove, they keep on going.
Yeah.
So you could have been living the dream there as the wife of a former pop star. Actually, I wouldn't even class him as a pop star. Did they even have a hit?
Yeah, they did. They had albums and they had a calendar.
Yeah, but let's be honest about it. I've released CDs. I wouldn't class me as a pop star. And a calendar. Well, that's it. No, you're right. I stand corrected. They had a calendar. They were a pop star. Yeah, you could have been living the dream there. Hey, talking of dreams, and before we finish up, I want to. I meant to mention this at the very, very start. I had it was, when you have a dream, sometimes you wake up and go, "Was that real?
Yeah.
Does that really happen?" You were in my dream this week, Bec.
Oh.
No. You'll like this.
Oh,
right.
Excellent.
The setting was round about now. We're recording the show and then we're having a chat. And then you just revealed to me that you were a former child star. So I go, what? A child star? You can, yeah. And you told me. And then you explained it all. And then you were showing me that in the dream, you were showing me the videos. You were in films, right? And you'd also recorded an album with David Bowie.
No way.
And I'm going, are you sure? And you're getting her up on my phone going, look. But for some reason, you had red hair. You were like a little Annie. But you were listing the films you were in. Drop Dead Fred. So I even woke up going, what's Bec? Like, I'm thinking,
you're Googling me.
Rick, no. So I was like, going, was there a ginger kid in Drop Dead Fred? The Rick Mail movie.
Yeah.
So what are the ones? There was loads of films you were listening to me. But the main things I remember, I woke up, I was thinking, Jesus Christ, Bec did an album with David Bowie and worked with Rick Mail in the 80s.
Wow, that's a dream and a half.
Maybe I think that the crazy week and all the excitement that I've had with these 15, 16 hour days have gone to the mind.
I was on a play.
What play was that?
I treaded the boards.
Go on.
I was Snow White in my school play.
Snow White?
Yeah.
You know what? My school play, I think the furthest I got was I was a gate.
How can you be a gate?
Because you know what happens, right? And I'm sure I'll experience this with my little one as she goes into school. They can't obviously fit everyone into the plays, can they? This only happened in junior school because when I got into high school, I was an absolute terror. And of course, I was going to be a rock and roll star to release an album called Help, I've Fallen Down a Mine Shaft. So I didn't need those stinking teachers or those stinking rules, brother. But when I was in the infants, it was the Christmas nativity play, and where they go, right, you're going to be Joseph, you're going to be Mary, you're going to be one of the shepherds, all the good kids. They look at me and go, Jeff, you're going to be another shepherd? No. One of the blokes giving the gifts? No. Hold this. I'm like, yeah, the gate. Yeah, you just stand there with the gate.
That's what you
I
had
was
to
the gate.
do.
Because they just got to give you people random plays.
Yeah.
I'm surprised, this was back in the 80s, so they could probably even get away with like a kid sat on the floor playing a bale of hay, like with someone sat on them.
Oh no, I had the starring role. We had auditions and everything. It was like X Factor, and I pulled this thing out. I was quite a shy kid, and I don't even know how I ended up going up for this part. And I just remember going on stage, and it was this scene where the woodcutter's taking you to the woods, and he's going to kill you, and I just did, please, I'm too young to die. And I got a standing ovation and got the part. And then flashed my knickers at all the boys when I fell over.
See, I didn't get that reaction when I went. Best gate in the business, me kids.
That was a perfect creak.